That is a beautiful Indian motorcycle. Real quick before we leave on the Honda Rebel 300, I just want to Indian Scout. Really, really gorgeous bike. My trusty whole gloves keep me whole, we hope. By the way, this is Twig Cycles, amazing dealership out here in Hagerstown, Maryland. Check them out, linked in the description below. Asked for anyone because they're all genuinely lovely. Yo, what is up guys? DukeOfDC here. Welcome to another video in the beginner bike series. Again, remember to vote for your favorites, and the top 3 I will make a best beginner bike shootout video with 2 of my friends who are beginner riders, or maybe 1 beginner, an advanced, and then myself in the very humble intermediate stages of life. So today we are at Twig Cycles. Huge shout out to Twig Cycles, Hagerstown, Maryland. That was the dealership up there that you guys probably just saw before I came down here to do my spiel. Really amazing place, linked in the description below. And another enormous shout out to my sponsors, my partner Rollick Outdoors, an incredible company that is trying to help consumers get from, hey, I want a motorcycle, to, hey, look at my motorcycle. Genuinely, no, they are connecting consumers with a network of certified dealers for the best prices and deals and inclusive offers to get you from the stages of a wishing to a having. For more information on Rollick, please go to gorollick.com. It will be linked in the description down below, and start searching for your next bike, whether it be this Honda Rebel 300 or whatever you fancy. Let's get into it. This is a 2018 Honda Rebel 300. It is a very interesting beginner bike, and the reason being is because it's a beginner cruiser bike. You don't see a lot of these, and I'll be completely honest, it's a very niche motorcycle because most people that buy cruisers don't think about going with Honda, 1, and 2, definitely don't think about getting a beginner bike, so to speak. This is the 2018, like I said, so it's about $4,449 for 2018. It's a single, it's a thumper, 300, so probably just shy of 300 cc's. It's got a nice short wheelbase for a cruiser though. This is definitely longer wheelbase than some of the other beginner bikes that I've taken out that are sport bike oriented or standard bikes. But for a cruiser, I will admit that this is very easy to maneuver. I was just in the parking lot coming over here and it felt fine. Let's walk around the bike, take a look at some things. Got a Nissan 2-pot caliper with a one-sided rotor on the front here. You've got all your hand controls blacked out with a little tack and speedometer situation, so turn that thing on. I lied, there's no tack, so just shows you the speed. It does have a fuel gauge, which is incredibly important. It has the time and the total number of miles, odometer on there, 4 miles, so don't get after me if I take it easy on this thing. You've got your kill switch, your hazard lights, the start button, you've got your high beams, your horn, and your turn signals. It's got a side key, which I actually think is cool as hell. That is very, very cool. On the back here, you've got suspension units on both sides, very chopper-esque. Swing arm, both sides. You've got, again, kind of a hideous stock exhaust that should be changed because genuinely, when he started this bike, I was surprised it sounded so beefy for a little thumper. The benefits here are the costs are incredibly low. The seat height is incredibly low. The insurance on this would be incredibly low. You're seeing a theme here. But the fun and the styling and the reliability, all of those are going to be incredibly high. You know, it's a Honda single. It looks incredibly easy to work on if you wanted to do things yourself. I mean, if you can't get to something in this engine, then we should have a conversation about your abilities mechanically. Let's see. Let me start it up so that you can hear it real quick. You see? It's got that nice thumper sound. Tell me that doesn't sound really, really good. And that's like... that sounds really good for a stock exhaust and a single cylinder. I gotta beat him out of here. First gear, not so easy to get into. So no tack is minorly interesting. On a bike like this with a single, I think it's something that's a little bit more common to not have a tachometer. I can certainly feel when it's time to shift gears. The other thing to realize on these bikes, after coming off of an S1000R, which is going to pertain to like all of one peoples in the world, me, is that there's no link braking, and that's the case with a ton of motorcycles. So just get back to using your rear brake, and you really should, even with link braking, still be using your rear brake as just a force of habit from those days of training. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, that is a 5-speed transmission, 1 up, 1 down, 4 up. It's not very hard for me to remember things, as you can see, because I'm just such a good moto vlogger. Oh, let's see if he waves. That guy didn't wave at me, and I'm upset about that. All right, so initial impressions. The seating is very strange. The seating position I feel very strange in. You know, I think on a bike like this, if this was a bigger cruiser, you would most certainly have your feet kind of up in front of you, which is what I expected it to be. Having seen pictures, and of course looking at it though, you should know that that's not far forward. So my feet are kind of like sat like I'm in a chair that's a little too small for me, and I'm not a very tall guy. 5'9", 30-inch inseam, you know, relatively shorter legs and a long torso. So for me, having what I would consider short legs and still feeling like my legs are in a weird position means that if you were over or at 6 feet, you'd probably be sitting here like this, which would be a very strange position to be in. So that should be noted. I don't know if there's adjustability in the pegs, if they can go forward or, well, really that's the only place that they would need to go. The other thing is this single, 55 miles per hour, I am feeling some buzzing in the handlebars and just a little bit of uncertainty in the bike. Like, I know it'll go faster, not a ton faster. I think these things top out at like 80 miles per hour, but still at 55, you're not even talking about highway cruising speeds. Around here, the speed limit is more like 65. The ride is decent though. The bars are nice and wide, so they give you, you know, leverage to turn it in. This is a very interesting bike. So in my mind, the person that's going out here to buy it is someone that wants to own a cruiser. They've never ridden a motorcycle before. Because genuinely, if you've ridden a motorcycle before and you want to get a cruiser, I think that there are better options out there than this. And I'm not saying that this is a bad bike. And if you own a Honda Rebel 300, you probably bought it for a good reason and you've had a good amount of fun on it. I mean, heck, for $44.50, right, which is the price for this brand new, that's a great offer. I think my first ever street bike, used, Yamaha FZ6, cost me $4 grand. So we're not talking about something very far off of that, and that bike at the time was like 5 years old or something when I bought it. So this is a new bike, and it's got some new things. I mean, this is a nicer display than some of the old analog ones. I do wish it had a tachometer. That's just something I'm used to, but having the fuel gauge might make up for that as a beginner, just because I think that's a bit more important to you, is like, when am I gonna run out of fuel and someone's gonna have to come save me, theoretically. The other thing I wish it had is a gear indicator. Again though, we're talking about a bike that's entry level, that comes in sub 5,000 by quite a lot. So that's not a super surprising thing that it doesn't have all of these features that I wish, you know, wish it had. Otherwise, the ride is comfortable. The suspension is, it's not too loose and it's not too tight. It feels pretty dang good actually coming into like these bends, which I'm not going to take as I just go straight. No, but any of the bumps are getting soaked up, but it doesn't feel like I'm bouncing around the road, which is really good. And I'll be honest, the single does sound really good coming out of the stock exhaust, which is something that I didn't necessarily expect until he started the bike. You know, it's interesting, when you get on a motorcycle that's as simple as this, you you just genuinely run out of things to say. I can't talk about its dynamic dampening controlled suspension. I can't talk about its quick shifter and its auto blipper. I can't talk about, you know, this, that, and the other, because it just doesn't have this, that, and the other. And it's not to shame it, it's just to say that, you know, I just got off the Ninja 400, which is $5,300. So we're talking about almost $1,000 more, but genuinely, I think a bike that's worth its weight significantly more than this one. You're talking about the difference between a sport bike and a cruiser. Let's get it up to speed. It's going up to 60. Oh yeah! That's 5th gear. Power, power, da-na-na-na-na-na. It needs more power, just a little bit more. Again, I just rode a 400, and so I'm not comparing it to my 1000cc bike. I am comparing this bike to that 400, which I think is a fair comparison. If Honda did what Ninja did, and they up this to 400 displacement, and they keep the price close, I think 43 is a hard place to like play with. They'd have to bring it up just a little bit, maybe $4,700, $4,800. And it had the same amount of power as the Ninja, it would be a really good bike, because these things are light. I think they weigh like mid 300 pounds, 350 to 370, I want to say. And for a cruiser bike, that's incredibly light. I mean, I've been on road glides that weigh 750 to 800 pounds, right? Things that I like about it, because I don't want to dog this, because genuinely it serves a purpose, and I understand its purpose. I love the tank. I actually think that the paint on this, the blue with the black frame, is really, really pretty. The styling is actually kind of there, you know, with a different set of pipes, again, just because the stock exhausts these days are getting more and more horrendous. And they're getting that way because they're meeting stricter and stricter regulations. This guy's gonna pass me and just look at me and think like, why are you going so slow? Yeah, come on, power. A Honda Civic has beaten me. Where do I go to turn in my license? So the styling is there. I do think it's a pretty comfortable bike. I'm liking the seat. It's got a little lip in the back that kind of catches you so that you can sit into it like a little bucket, and that's nice. I like that. I don't love the seating position because it's just a bit strange for me. It's just, your knees are in a weird spot. So it was kind of hard to shift up because your toe has to go under like that. Always stay ever vigilant of the driver that doesn't know where they're going. Now, mind you, these are pretty quick test rides. You know, I think living a day with this bike would be a good exercise. Take it to work on your commute, take it on a mountain ride or twisties ride locally, wherever you ride. Go out with your friends. Go out with your friends. That's a good statement to make. If you're gonna get a new bike, if you can take it on a test ride with your friends who are on their bikes, I think that would do a lot for you, because not that it matters how your motorcycle compares to others, but it's definitely going to change the dynamic of the amount of fun that you're having if on a Rebel 300 you are left in the dust and feeling, you know, kind of unsafe catching up. Okay, let's hop off the bike and talk about her post-ride. You know, I like the post-ride discussions because the pre-ride discussions are filled with blissful ignorance. And that's what we're going to call it. Okay, so the Honda Rebel 300. If I had to give this a rating, I would give it a 6 out of 10. Maybe even a 5.5. I understand it. Like, it's a single entry-level cruiser that comes in at a low price. The insurance would be low. You know, it makes sense as a beginner bike. However, it doesn't make sense as a beginner cruiser bike, which is definitely what it's trying to be. You know, you can see it in the framework. You can see it in the riding position. If the foot controls came, and I don't know the engineering behind it, but if the foot controls could come off of this and be down here, then I think that would make vast improvements. And if they could just up the power a little bit. Now, mind you, there is a Honda Rebel 500, so it makes you start wondering, you know, is the 300 really a bike that needs to be around anymore, because the 500 probably has the right amount of power but still has that really linear, really gentle, beginner-esque throttle response that's not going to put you in a rough situation. The brakes were fine. Again, the engine power was just a little too little. Again, the Ninja 400 was perfect. I think that was a perfect beginner entry-level bike. So I am sad to give this a low score. I genuinely like to go out and enjoy a bike, but if I don't give you my honest opinion, then well, what is my opinion worth in general? So that's it for this one. Again, remember what I said before. Thank you, Rollick. Go to gorollick.com if you want to connect with certified dealers and look at pricing and go from wanting to having your dream bike. Thank you, Twig Cycles, right there. I'm going to take this motorcycle over there in a minute, for letting me take out this beautiful Honda Rebel 300. I don't love the ride, but I do really like the styling, and I love that tank. That tank looks great. Remember what I said earlier, guys. Comment down below if you want me to do the shootout. Start voting on the bikes that you want in that beginner bike series shootout, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.